Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstones. Peace, mercy, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the Israelites of the Bible, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I found this post on social media by the True Wire, and the caption says, "Blasphemy pastor says that Jesus Christ, which is the actual name in the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, not Jesus Christ, was queer." And the caption says, "A gay pastor suggests that Jesus was queer during a sermon." In the clip, he said Jesus was an observant Jew who was 30 years old, unmarried, had no job, and spent time with 12 other men, adding that's pretty queer. And then the other slide said him talking, and you can see like he's gay. He has that effeminate spirit in him. So we go.
How Jesus? He was an observant Jew, but he was 30 years old, no wife, no job, hung out with 12 other dudes. That's pretty queer. How?
Man, you can see he got a super effeminate spirit on him, and he is queer. And in the word says, "Show yourself man." He's not showing himself man. So I'm gonna bring it out. The book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 16. It says, "But unto the wicked Yahweh said, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes?" So yeah, who's the wicked? Well, we gotta bring it out. Same as always. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4 says, "Whereas Edom saith," Edom is the so-called white man, "we are impoverished, but we will return to build the desolate place." And that happened during the Renaissance times. Thus say the other one Yahweh, "They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the other one Yahweh had indignation forever." So who's that wicked? It's the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, and who the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hates forever. And so we go back to Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. It says, "But unto the wicked Yahweh said, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?" So yeah, he's asking, like, what are you doing? Pretty much declaring my statutes, or should take my covenant in your mouth. But he didn't make the covenant with Esau Edom. He did it with Jacob, who later on his name was changed to Israel, who later on he had his 12 kids who were the Israelites, and there will be the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Verse 17 saying, "Seeing thou hatest instructions and cast my words behind thee." And yeah, these heathens, they can't keep the precepts of the Heavenly Father. It's only the Israelites. And we go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, verse 36, and it reads, "Thou shalt find that Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, by name had kept thy precepts, but not the heathens." And what was the law in the book of Leviticus? If he says that supposedly Yahweh Shai is queer, he doesn't know that in the law it's an abomination in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13, it reads, If a man also lie with mankind, as he lie with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So it's an abomination for a man to sleep with another man, as like a man sleeps with a woman. It's an abomination in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, how about Shem Yahushai, and we're supposed to be putting you into debt for that. So that's how we know, he's lying. There's no way Yahweh Shai is gay. He doesn't know the precepts. Also, if we go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 9, it says right here, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate." So homosexuals. So how can Yahweh Shai be homosexual? If he's so homosexual, he cannot inherit the kingdom that the Heavenly Father Yahweh blessed him with. The new kingdom that's gonna come and pretty soon, because we're seeing the signs of rumors of war. We're seeing that the famine of the worst on its way. We see a civil war, also Jacob's trouble, and also the mark of the beast. It's pretty soon. It's right at the door. We're seeing those are the signs. So again, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So that's how you know he doesn't know the scriptures, and he's a heathen. He can't keep the word of the Heavenly Father. Only the Israelites, only the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Also, if we go to the book of Isaiah, it says, Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, it says right here, to the law and to the testimony. So the law says that a man should not sleep with another man as he sleeps with a woman. That's an abomination in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. And to the testimony. And we know in the book of 1 Corinthians, Paul, he's a witness, and he was speaking to the Corinthians, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, and we know that the word of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh Shai, it is because there is no light in them. There's no light in them. There's no wisdom in them. So he cannot understand the words of the Heavenly Father. He cannot break it down. Like the real man, only the real man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, his prophets, will be able to break down these mysteries. And though they have to be Israelites, not heathens. Also, he did bring out good stuff that he is a Jew, and we could bring that Yahweh Shai is a Jew, and we could bring the Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. It says, for it is evident that our out of one Yahweh Shai sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. So yeah, he got that right. He also talked about how he didn't have no job. Of course, his dad was a carpenter. So if his dad was a carpenter, that means his dad also showed him how to be a carpenter. And we could go to the book of Matthew chapter 13, verse 54. It says right here. And this is when, Yahweh Shai, because he said he had no job. Well, his job was to preach the gospel. That was doing the will of the Heavenly Father. That was what he was meant for. That was why he was sent to the Israelites, to do that work. It says right here, and when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, and so much that they were astonished and said, whence had this man this wisdom and these mighty works? So they were already hating on Yahweh Shai. Is not this the carpenter's son? So if he's the son of a carpenter, of course his father is going to teach him how to be a carpenter. Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Hosea and Simon and Judas, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then had this man all these things? So they were hating on him, and they were offended in him. But Yahweh Shai said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. So yeah. So of course we know that Yahweh Shai was a carpenter. Not only was he doing the work of the Heavenly Father by preaching the gospel, he was also, we know he was a carpenter. He built stuff. And we also go to the book of Luke, because he was working. He was doing his father's business as a kid when he was 12 years old. It says right here in the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 49. We'll start at 40. Luke chapter 2, verse 40. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of Yahweh was upon him. This is Yahweh Shai. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Yahweh Shai tarried behind in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they saw him among his kinsfolks and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. So Yahweh Shai, he didn't go back to his parents. He stayed in Jerusalem. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understandings and answers. So Yahweh Shai, he was showing that wisdom that the Heavenly Father Yahweh blessed him with. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou Why hast thou thus Why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And Yahushua said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Was ye not that I must be about my Father's business? And what is the works of the Heavenly Father put it on Yahushua? Well, we go to the book of Luke chapter 4 verse 18. Something that also Yahushua commanded his disciples to do. It says right here. This is the book of Luke chapter 4 verse 18. The Spirit of the Other One Yahweh is upon me, because he had anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. And who are the poor? Physically, the poor are the Israelites, but spiritually, we're rich. He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted. We're also brokenhearted. To preach deliverance to the captives. We're in our captivities to this day still. And recovering of sight to the blind. To set at liberty them that are bruised. To preach the acceptable year of the Other One Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So that's what Yahweh work is. You know, he was to go out and preach the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and to prophesy. And that's what he commanded his disciples to do, and also us. Like it says, because he also said he hung out with 12 men, not knowing that those 12 men were his disciples. We go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. It says right here, And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of diseases. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these: the first, Simeon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. These 12 Yahweh sent forward and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles. So he's letting him know, go not into the way of the Gentiles. These are not meant for the Gentiles. It's only for the Israelites. And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So those were the 12 men that he was hanging out with. He was teaching them so they could also send the message out. He was teaching them the word of the Heavenly Father, the mysteries. So then the disciples could go out to the highways and hedges, as they were commanded, to also warn and also to prophesy and heal our people, and let them know who the devil really is in this wicked world, and who are the real Israelites. Because our people were lost. They're still lost to this day. So yeah, so this damn heathen, so-called white man, Esau Edom, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash, Shalom.